It's a Toy Night Show with Sammy G. Action Figure Backlog Special. It's Sammy G. Thank you. What is happening? Welcome back to the Toy Night Show. I'm your host, Sammy G. We're doing something a little bit different today on the Toy Night Show. Normally we have a guest out here, but we've got a lot of guests today, as we're going to call this episode the Backlog episode. We're going to talk about everything that I've picked up recently. I call it the Backlog because I haven't had time to crack it open, enjoy it, put it on the shelf yet. Without further ado, let's kick it off. So yesterday, went on a little shopping trip with the wife. We went up to Toledo/Sylvania, Ohio, and stopped at one of my favorite places to shop for vintage and modern toys, and that's the Sylvania Toy Company in Sylvania, Ohio. And my wife decided that she was going to wait it out in the vehicle. So as I go in and I'm looking around, they had a lot of really great things. I saw some carded food fighters, and man, I really want some food fighters of my own, but I didn't want to buy the carded figures and then open them up, because I do want to open them up and have them on the shelf. But anyways, I did find some really cool things, and we'll talk about those here in a moment. I'm out hunting around. I look back in the corner of the store and I find some things that are actually really super cool. They caught my eye. One, because it's one of my favorite video games, if not my favorite video game of all time. And that are these Funko Pop figures that represent Dig Dug, one of my favorite games of all time. And not only did they have these, they had other ones that were in the set. They also had Centipede. So the Centipede from Centipede. I pick up all these. I go out to the vehicle. I had one other thing, and I'll bring that up here in a second. And I tell the wife, you got to see what I just purchased. These things are great. You're going to love them. And so I show them to her. I picked out one at a time. I said, you're going to like this one. You like this one. She thought they're really cute. And then I proceeded to tell her that there were more there. And I told her about the Cubert one. So not only did we pick up these, because she sent me back in. Actually, she came back in with me this time, and she proceeded to grab the Cubert figures. And she also had me also purchase the Ms. Pac-Man figures as well. So all these, I'm going to blame my wife for these, but I actually like them myself. I believe the ones that were missing are Pac-Man. There was the Mega Man one there, and I didn't pick that one up. I should have, just to complete the set. I should have picked them up. Should have completed the set. Now I'm going to have to find them later and complete the full set. But these are actually really cool figures, and I love video game related action figures, or I guess these really don't have any action, so I guess video game collectibles, I guess is what we'll call them. But there were some other things that I saw there at Sylvania Toy Company. I decided I was going to start collecting something different. It's this vintage laser beak from the Transformers G1 line. I want to start collecting all of the cassette tapes because I think they're so cool. And it would be nice to collect them all. So I started with Laserbeak, which is probably one of the more iconic cassette tapes from that line. See, now he looks like the cassette tape. So these would go into Soundwave, and I'll end up getting a vintage Soundwave at some point. So Sunday was a pretty big day. So we're going to stick with Transformers. I've seen these at shows. I've seen these in stores. I've seen them online. And it's these blokies. I don't know what you call them. But this one here is the Megatron that actually lights up and has a few more accessories. It's called the Action Edition. So this came yesterday, and I am super excited to pop this guy open and see what is happening with this one. Uh, Megatron is an iconic villain, and I love the fact that he has that G1 aesthetic. So it's going to be pretty interesting and pretty exciting to get this one open and see what is happening with him. But wait, there's more. It wouldn't be a Sunday shopping excursion to Toledo if we didn't stop at Target, or many Targets, as there's like 4 Targets in the Toledo area. And sticking with the video game theme, I finally found Blanca and Sagat from the Street Fighter 2 line from Jada Toys. Super excited to find these guys. I just am just I'm so amazed at how big the figures are. I'm glad that they went larger with these guys, as they're generally larger in the video game, so it's just going to line up very well and fit very well into the line. I've seen these all over the internet. I've seen them everywhere, and I was so happy to find them actually in the wild at a store and not have to go find them online or do anything like that, because it's always fun to be out and hunt and find something. It gets you excited, and this was definitely exciting to see yesterday, so grab those. uh, I do have some others coming from Blast from the Past LLC. Shout out Franks. I'll still take those as well, but had to get these into the collection. I couldn't pass them up. Speaking of Blast from the Past LLC, he's been hooking me up with some of the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection line, and I've got 6 of them that just came fresh off the truck from him. And we'll just start out with this one, and that's Frosta from the Princess of Power line. We have the Invisible Skeletor. This one is actually one of my personal favorites. I already have one I opened. I'm going to get multiple of these and kind of do a little bit of customization with the heads and whatnot, but it's actually really, really cool. We also have Buzz Off. Zzz, Buzz Off. So we got those 3 in. Continuing the Princess Power line, we've got Leech. We have Catra. How do you do it? I don't know how to do it. Anyways, we got Catra. My personal favorite from that wave is the Faker, as it looks exactly like a normal He-Man figure. Has an additional head, so you could put another head on another He-Man figure. And I mean, how many He-Man figures do you need? But I mean, why not have another one? But shout out to Blast from the Past LLC. I just call it Frank's house. We're going to pause for a commercial break. We'll be right back. What is happening? Coming up on the ToyNight show, we have a very special guest. You might say that we're going to have fun. You won't want to miss this one. And we're going to stick with Masters of the Universe, and this time we're going to the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Vintage Collection. This essentially just takes the aesthetic from an Origins figure and scales it up to the Masterverse sizing. There's going to be some differences between this one and the standard Masterverse figure that came out for Zodak. We'll unbox that at some point, and you'll hopefully get to see that soon. But also, this one comes by way of Walmart, as I believe this is a Walmart exclusive. I know we've got in who came before that? Skeletor came before that, and that Skeletor figure is actually really, really pretty solid figure in itself. So, but hot off the truck, we've got Beastman, another Beastman figure in the Masterverse line. Not the deluxe figure that we got from Target, but this time a standard Beastman figure. This looks more like the Origins figure, as it looks more of like a brighter orange, I guess. I don't know. I'll have to open it up and see what it looks like, and we can do some comparisons. But there's another Beastman. We also have King Randor. Got a few ways that you can style his helmet and his crown on the back side there. Damo Arigato, Mr. Roboto. And Roboto rounds out this wave of Masterverse figures. I really, really enjoy these Masterverse figures, as I don't know, there's just something about them. And I enjoy collecting this line. I didn't really care for the Revolution ones that came out that coincided with the Netflix movie. I prefer the Masterverse New Eternia. I prefer the New Eternia versions, which that's what these are. It's New Eternia at the bottom there. Well, it is June, and when you get June, you get Yojo June. And so we've got some G.I. Joe on the retro card. We've got Rock and Roll here. This is more of the classic 80s version of Rock and Roll. Of course, we got the previous classified version of Rock and Roll. It was okay. It was okay for what it was, but I prefer the classic Rock and Roll look, styling here. Also in this wave is Dr. Mindbender. Dr. Mindbender looking very good. Of course, this is another second version of Dr. Mindbender, as Dr. Mindbender was once a Comic-Con exclusive, and previously it was a deluxe figure. So now we get a retro-styled cardback Dr. Mindbender. Lastly, in that wave, we also get the Cobra Viper, which we've had a few Vipers already by way of a 3-pack. This one more of the retro look, retro styling, retro card back. Got the file card on the back. And we'll pop these open here shortly. Yo Joe. Up next, we got a few randos. So I decided I wanted a Sonic figure, so I picked up Fang. I don't know a lot about Fang. I actually just like the way the character looks, so decided to pick him up. Found him at Walmart. But it's another cool looking figure that I'll pop on the shelf with the other Sonic figures that I have. Next, we have a second variant of a figure that I really liked from last year, and that is Belly Bomb, this time in the cover color variant. He's got that blue look to his skin, the pink coat. Is that yellow pants he's got on the bottom there? Yeah. Just a really cool looking figure. I believe I've got, yes. And here's the original Belly Bomb that came out. Really super cool looking figure. I love the way that his eyeball is still able to move, so you can kind of look like he's rolling his eyes, which is kind of crazy. The mouth is articulated, so he could shut his teeth. Looks like he's grinning. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but give me all the weird stuff with these action figures. These are great. It's really cool that he's holding his eyeball there. It's kind of cool. The next things I found was a marketplace find. It's going to have you say, ooh, yeah. One of my favorite wrestlers from the 80s, Macho Man Randy Savage, Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. I don't know if I have to, hide Miss Elizabeth there. She is missing some paint. Got some stuff exposed there, but these guys were fun. And of course, the paint is chipping everywhere, but these guys were just tossed everywhere. I remember when my brother and I had these, we just tossed them out around in the ring, and the paint fell off of them. I think we had Hogan. We might have had Brutus Beefcake. We might even had a Macho Man at some point, but couldn't pass this one up on Marketplace for a really good deal. Lastly, we're going to take it to the max, guy. If you know, you know. And that is the Maximum Series Hulk. So this guy looks amazing. This guy looks just fantastic. Just a huge hulking Hulk action figure. I can't wait to open him up and see what is happening with him. I am super excited to have him into the collection. We'll see if all the hype holds up. But that'll do it for the backlog. I guess that's what we're going to call this segment, the backlog. Backlog, backstash, I don't know what to call it. Back fat, fat back. I don't know. I don't know what to call this segment, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Maybe. Anyways, Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.